Good evening. Welcome to Cut Deep Season 5, a new season of exciting guests and lots of information. I'm your host, Cindy Roseanne. Tonight, the Anegada Land fiasco is back on the table, plus BVI lands, period. We indeed heard a lot of shocking information in the Commission of Inquiry interviews this past week. We tackle it tonight. Back in studio with me tonight is Chairman of the Anegada Advisory Lands Committee, Mr. Darrell Ruan. It is tea time in the studio. The concept of Cut Deep was developed with a focus on encouraging the wider public to think more in depth on issues that plague us, encouraging persons to have a voice and to use that voice to invoke change. Cut Deep is an interactive platform cutting through the noise and political rhetoric. It is raw, uncut, challenging you to think critically. What do the issues mean for us? What part do we play? It is a platform that will move the Virgin Islands toward unified, integrated success. I want to welcome back Blossoms Florist as our support sponsor for Cut Deep. I want to thank Varieties Apparel, The Dressing Room, the Honorable Malon Penn, as well as those of you who continue to support this platform from behind the scenes. Thank you. Cut Deep is a multi-platform show covering social and political issues in the BVI. Its viewership continues to grow, reaching more than 6,000 viewers weekly. It cuts across demographics and captures an international audience. For advertising opportunities, email cutdeep@gmail.com or call 284-440-3234. Supporters may also donate to Cut Deep and the issues it supports through our ATH Mobile 284-440-3234. Checks or cash. Donations will be kept confidential. Send words of encouragement, comments, leads, and social concerns to Cut Deep's email. Thank you to our viewing audience and supporters for watching and sharing our content. That is the best support of all. We'll take a quick break and come right back with the action for tonight.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Welcome back. It's a brand new season of Cut Deep. If you're just joining us, you're right on time. Welcome. It's Season 5, Episode 3. We are happy to be back for a new, exciting season. I want to welcome back Blossoms Florist as our support sponsor for Cut Deep. I want to thank Varieties Apparel, The Dressing Room, the Honorable Malon Penn, as well as those of you who continue to support this platform from behind the scenes. Thank you. Cut Deep is a multi-platform show covering social and political issues in the BVI. Its viewership continues to grow with up to 6K viewers weekly. It cuts across demographics and captures an international audience. For advertising opportunities, email cutdeep@gmail.com or call 284-440-3234. Yesterday, we celebrated what will become a day to highlight and reflect on our heroes and heroines. Before I start the show tonight, I want to honor 5 of those heroes. It appears that we recorded history incorrectly as it relates to the Bate Hills Wickham ski debacle. What a most important rich history and legacy to get wrong. Our records must be corrected at all costs. What is the real story of the Positive Action Movement? Investigations are being done, but the most important thing to know is that 4 men stood tall for the future of these Virgin Islands. They did not back down when it was time to test their mettle. They didn't run away. 3 of them did jail time and gave all they had, their heart and soul, to these Virgin Islands. They deserve our respect. They deserve a well-recorded history. They deserve Wickham's Key first. And so we must ensure that it is done. Mr. Donald Smith, who went to the governor's house as well, should be recognized. However, he left the island the next day, never to return. The following 3 men gave everything for us. Mr. Noah Lloyd, Mr. Vernon Farrington, and Mr. Cromwell Bushy Nibs. Put respect on their names. They are the true heroes of the Bates Hill Wickham's Key debacle. I want to petition the sitting administration to write history. Honor these men as they should be. If anyone in the BVI deserves honorable titles, they do. I petition the sitting administration to apply honorable to these gentlemen's names. Rewrite the history on this most historic and rich legacy. They also deserve statues in their honor, and please give these gentlemen their rightful ownership of Wickham's Key. I call on every single constituent and resident of the BVI to contact your district rep and at-large representatives and petition them, admonish them to do the right thing by these heroes. Gentlemen, I celebrate you and thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving your everything for us, for me, for my children. We are eternally grateful. This evening, I also want to recognize Honorable Leslie Malone, one of the few local politicians who supported the passage of the Non-Belongers Landholding Act. Thank you, sir. We'll take a short break and come right back.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes,
Good
son.
morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Welcome back. It's Cut Deep Season 5, Episode 3. Tonight, the Anegada Land debacle is back on the table, plus BVI lands, period. We indeed heard a lot of shocking information in the Commission of Inquiry interviews this past week. We tackle it tonight. Back in the studio with me tonight is Chairman of the Anegada Advisory Lands Committee, Mr. Darrell Ruan.
Good.
It is tea time here in the studio. Darrell.
Yes, Cindy.
Can I call you Darrell?
Yeah, man.
It is so lovely to have you back in studio.
It's good to be here. Good to be here.
I want to tell you that the show last week, so many people reached out to me after the show. So many things they didn't know. They were just so surprised,
yeah.
shocked that, the information that you were revealing, that this has been going on so long and people still can't wrap their heads around exactly, the exact situation and why it's happening. And I know that you have a lot more to tell.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I wanted to have you back for a round 2.
No
and even
problem.
to discuss other things that are happening land-wise in the BVI that has been shocking for us.
Yeah.
Just in viewing the COI last week. So
It was
if you're
serious.
good to go, I'm good to go. So
Well, I would like to say to those that reached out, thank you, first and foremost. There's much more to tell of the story, but I would like to make just a couple corrections. When we last spoke, you had the list and you were naming off some Faulkners and some Vantiples and some key family names that were on the list. And here is one of the major points that the elders of Anegada would like me to get across to the communities, and that's the fact that, yes, on the list of landowners in Anegada, you will find many Faulkners, many Vantiples, and many of the key families' last names from Anegada. The problem is the Sydney. These are the families or the relations that are off island. Like myself, I was granted a deed while I was living in the States. Do I qualify for the land? Yes, I do. But we're having a disparity where people who do not live on Anegada, the grandchildren or the great-grandchildren even, are being granted the deeds, while the people who live on Anegada generationally are not being given the deeds. And that's one big, huge problem we are seeing.
To me, that's even more problematic because for me, if I was living on Anegada, I'm living there.
Yeah.
My whole life is there. I'm invested. I'm vested. I'm there. I'm what do you say, toiling the ground. Why would it be so much easier for a generation that lives outside of the BVI, that experiences nothing? They're not here. I'm not saying they don't have rightful ownership.
Yes,
they do.
Yes, yes.
But why is it easier for them to get a piece of land than an Anegadian that is sitting there day to day to day?
Exactly. Well, the general consensus of Anegadians, and me being one of those individuals who fell in that category but moved back home, I'm like that first generation, the first numbers of those generations, because there are some who are going to come back home. But the reality of the situation is, if you ask any Anegadian, they would tell you they give it to those because those individuals will be quicker to sell it. Think about that. I just was granted a piece of land.
So you're saying the ones that live overseas will be quicker to sell the piece of land?
Oh, yeah.
And so that's why they're giving it to them?
Well, what other reason you have, Miss? Let's look at it from another perspective. Why would you not give it to the people who are voting you in? Every election cycle, you come there, you give your promises, the people issue their votes, but they still wait on their deeds. So why are their great-grandchildren being granted the deeds, or their brothers' great-grandchildren, et cetera, et cetera? You have to remember, like I was stated last show, a lot of the individuals on Anegada, BVI in general, left to find a better way of life. So some stayed, some left. So why are you benefiting the ones that have left versus the ones that are there? So when I told you last episode that I stand 90% of the individuals on Anegada don't have their deeds, and you had your list, yes, your list may reflect the last names, but they do not reflect the residents of Anegada currently.
I want...
You like our point?
I really want to understand what you're saying when you say that they quicker give to Anegadians that live overseas because those people are quicker to sell. Are you saying that the government wants Anegadians to sell their land?
How else are they going to get it?
How else is who going to get it?
The government. How else can you... Okay, let me put to you like this. If this is all hypotheticals. If Anegadians, everything I've been saying is gospel, and the Anegadians truly do own this land, wouldn't it be, if you give it to the Anegadians on Anegada right now, they are not going to sell their land. They are going to make sure that the land stays within them and their families, because their families are growing. But if you turn around and you give it to, and I go point like it is, my cousin, because everybody related to me. You're going to give it to a cousin of mine, say in Florida, Miami, wherever he is in the world, Europe, wherever. He has never touched Anegadian soil, but he is eligible for the land. We ain't going to take it away from him or anything like that and say he don't deserve it. But if, depending on whatever is going on in his life, you get a piece of land that's worth anywhere from $70,000 to $150-something thousand, and you just get his deed, what are you going to do, Cindy? You're going to come back home and reinvest in this land? Now, I'm not saying all of them won't.
Wait.
But,
okay.
But most of them will sell.
Because I want to make it make sense. What does the government benefit from an Anegadian selling their
Well, I'm
land?
going to give you a real-world example. Currently, right now in Anegada, there was a cousin of mine that sold a piece of land that nobody in Anegada, even me as the chairman, knew was taking place. A non-belonging landholder license was issued and approved by cabinet, and the individual who purchased the land clear off the lot. That's what I'm talking about, Cynthia. So let's recap. I see it on your face. There was a cousin of mine who sold a piece of land. Now, mind you, here in the BVI, we cannot even cross the water, which we have to do. We don't have any services in Anegada, so we have to spend the money to cross the water. If we go in to any of the ministries, the offices or departments underneath the Ministry of Natural Resources dealing with land, we can't get through. But somehow, some way, an individual who don't live in Anegada was able to sell his piece of property. Not only sell, but the person who had a buyer lined up for it. Not only that, a non-belonging land holding license was issued, approved by cabinet, to the point that the individual done clear off his lot. This is what is happening. Would you like me to take you to Anegada to show you where the lot is? Okay.
No.
So you get my drift now. So suppose that happened to 15 or 20 people now do that. Now let's hypotheticals, because we're on hypotheticals. Suppose now these 15 to 20 people do that. And now you have these investors who come in, and with the non-belonging landholder and license, you have to spend up to $250,000. That's what the law says. So when you have these extravagant houses being built now, you could price Anegadians out of the land. Do you understand what it is I'm trying to say? Even if it come down to the point.
I do.
You're following me?
What?
It's deep. We cutting deep.
What I want to get really clear, and what I guess what I want to understand is this. So you think that government ministers, because quite frankly, it's only the government ministers that sit inside of cabinet.
There you go. Yes.
I don't know what has gone on before. I like to deal in the present, but you said this problem has been going on for a while. So
yes, ma'am.
You're saying to me that I don't even want to call it a cartel, but there is a whole ring going on.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is use
to sell Anegada land, and for me, it's any land in the BVI, because
I was just
we
about
really
to correct
need
you
to
on that.
tap into what's going on with BVI land.
I was just about to correct you on that. So here's the thing, though. This is how I want to put it. Based off of an interview, our current minister, Honorable Vincent Whitley, stated on another news network. He said, and I verbatim, he said that one of the issues that he had found when he came into his ministry was that the ministers holding that portfolio, what they would do is they would implement their own land distribution plan. So what would happen is once that minister was in, they would issue the land, whether it be for any other islands, Anegada, Tortola, Yoslandike, etc. They would come and have their own development plan, and therefore their development plan, their land would be issued, and then when the next minister were to come in, he would implement his own, but there was never a substantial plan, because like we said from the COI, what we've learned, there is no management distribution plan on the books. So that means within these ministries or within the government as a whole, they know what's going on, but anybody outside of it is absolutely like we don't know. It's a screen. We don't know what's going on.
We'll take a short break on that, and we'll be right back.
The win.
What in the hell?
I'm freaking out.
Is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the
What's poppin'? What's really good?
Davis has won it for the Lakers.
Welcome back. It's Cut Deep, Season 5, Episode 3. I'm speaking with Darrell Ruan. He's the chairman for the Anegada Advisory Land Committee. We're just going to jump straight back into this conversation that we're having in regards to land distribution in Anegada. Darrell, what you've said is correct. The minister did say in COI that when he came in, there was no plan, basically. And so he said that what he thought was important was to put a plan together so that they can start distribution.
But I challenge that.
Okay.
Here's the reason I challenge that, because we had a conversation with the minister. When I say we, I wouldn't even say the committee, I would say several members of the committee, because to this day, he has never sat before the committee, 8 members and the ex officio. That has never happened. And we've been functioning over a year now.
But he has a meeting with you guys this weekend?
No,
or that's
he has
with
a meeting with the
entire Anegada?
community.
Okay.
Community. He has never, and I put this on everything, never sat down with all 8 members of our committee and ex officio. The most was 4 of the members, and we did meet now, but we meet for a photo op to take a pictures to show how we're doing a good job. Everybody after work was able to meet on the dock, and we would basically. So no, we've never had that meeting, but I want to tell you about the land application situation that transpired in Anegada. We started this initiative to get the Anegadians their paperwork processed. If you remember, it was the height of the pandemic. We spoke with Minister Wheatley and we said, hey, we either need 1 or 3 things. Number 1, you could give us our budget. We would use this budget to hire a photographer, to hire a notary, so that any documentation they need, any photographs they may need, we, the committee, going to take care of it, because over every government, Anegadians have to pay a whole nother set of money for this new minister to have our paperwork process.
So for the past 30 years, I'm going to just say 30 years. I'm not even going to go back 45. Let's say 30 or 25 over the past, between these 2 administrations.
Yes, ma'am.
You're saying that every single time an administration comes in,
yes, ma'am,
you guys refile.
Yes, ma'am.
Follow behind them like dogs.
Yes, ma'am.
When can I get my land?
Yes,
when
ma'am.
are you going to make it happen?
That is
campaign
absolutely
promises
correct.
and campaign promises.
That is
and come
absolutely
in
correct.
It's 30 years later and you guys still have no idea how, when, or why you can't get this land.
Yes, ma'am. Well, it's cut deep. Let's cut a little deeper. In the Renwick report, in the appendices, there are listed the wild owners and the owners of the land on Anegada to that point. My question I want to pose to the ministry is, where are those landowners' documents? The wild owners that you listed in those appendices from that Renwick report, which is the Commissioner Inquiry into Anegada Lands, what is the current status of those individuals' land? Where are these applications? Because you do a method where the first application to come in is the one that you file and digitize. So where are the people who've been waiting for the 40, 50, 60 years on their land? Where are those applications? And if they are spoiled, why didn't you come and have a community meeting and tell Anegada they were spoiled? If they were destroyed, same thing. So still, my family, a bunch of our applications are caught up from the Renwick report. We haven't heard a word from the government, and I have been actively campaigning to get those documents sent to us, and nothing. We don't get nothing. Absolutely nothing. But back to what we were talking about as far as with the Anegadians and the application process. We approached the minister, and like I said, we asked for the budget because we would have taken the hit. We would have used our entire budget if it took to make sure Anegadian didn't have to come out of their pocket. The second thing we asked for is to have some kind of ability to hold our money and be able to finance our own, meaning we could get a bank account, or you understand what I'm saying? We have a treasurer, vice treasurer. Why are we not able to have our own accounts and move and shake the way we need to move and shake? Or from the $30,000 you are allotted every quarter, give us at least $1,500 out of that so that we could take care of this. Sydney, we went, I literally made myself available every day because we're not getting our stipends and we did not get the budget. So I made myself available every day, sat down with that community, and we filled out their documentation. Minister Wheatley ensured us that regardless of what they didn't have, he would take care of it. This is in the height of a pandemic. Let me say this again, the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. So there's no traveling back and forth. There's no government offices open. We submitted the applications in March, late March, 24th of March, if I'm not mistaken. Why? On August 20th, you returned the applications them to Anegada. Everybody who filled out the application with our committee, the applications were returned. Why?
What was the reason? Did they
Well,
give you a reason?
The reason given that they were not they were not complete, meaning some of them were missing passport photos, which I will admit, yes, some of them were missing passport photos, but the minister asked for the bundle whole. It's even in our meeting minutes where we actually thought we were being tricked. It right there in the meeting minutes. Should we do this because we don't want any foolishness with these applications done? Some were asking for their passport photos, others were asking for proof that there's Anegada. I don't know what bigger insult that is than that. You have all the information, you know these individuals. We do the vetting. So the way I look at it, if I hand you an application, they already vetted. Now, if you want the what do you call it, the notary, if you wanted the passport photos, we already dealt with this. We already came to you, sat down with you, 3 members of our committee, and we told you this is an issue, we need it rectified, and you assured the committee we would not have to deal with this. All of a sudden now, commissioner inquiry come, they find out, I don't have no land distribution plan. Follow the dots now. All of a sudden now you send back the application them and you come with your new land distribution plan right before election, but you send back everybody application to follow whatever this new land distribution plan is that we were never told anything about. So we are going to hear the land distribution plan when the community hears the land distribution plan.
So is that one of the things they're talking about this weekend?
I do not know. He has not made it public what we are talking about. I do know it's going to be a community meeting. I do know many of the other at-large Minister of Health, Mr. Brother Carvin Malone, Honorable Carvin Malone will be there, was scheduled to be there. I know Honorable Shireen Flax Charles informed the community that she will not be there because of a prior engagement because it was scheduled for Tuesday, the 26th. So since it was moved to the 24th, which is a Sunday, which is a more appropriate day for us to gather together, she let us know that she cannot make it, but I do not know. I know
So
the at-large members are scheduled to be there as well.
Do you think this is just hoopla based on the
Well,
media
yes.
splurge that's going on around
Yes.
you and Anegada, the committee and Anegada
Yes.
right now?
I, in my firm belief, I don't say it, I'm going to be a double-edged sword. I believe it was long overdue. That's number one. So I do feel that genuinely the conversation needs to be had for the community. I also feel that because of the temperature in Anegada right now, they need to quell it as quick and as they can, because the long, like, I mean, I could get really...
For you, what does quelling look like for you?
Quelling is coming over there and just giving us lullabies again. You understand? To put us to sleep, to assure us.
So is that something that you guys
done?
are willing to accept? What is it that you wouldn't like to hear from the Minister of Lands? I'm going to say the Minister of Lands, Natural Resources and Labor, Lands fall under that. But more so from your district rep, because he is your district rep.
I would, me personally speaking, for me and the committee, as spokesman, I would like to see, hey, so-and-so, come on down and grab your deed. That's the only thing I want to hear, quite frankly. I mean to, look, come on with an October surprise and just, hey, this so-and-so, here's your deed. Hey, so-and-so, here's your deed. I happen to know for a fact deeds that were rolled over from Honorable Kendrick Pickering's term are in the ministry and they are not being issued. For whatever reasons, let them decide and give the explanation. I'll give a totally different one. But the fact of the matter is...
What is your explanation?
My summary, they went from the time Darrell Ruan went do what he do, and our heroes went and did what they did, like you said, the 4 gentlemen, to which Brother Darrell Smith is my great uncle. And so I was very touched when you said that name, you know, and I know him from a little boy growing up in St. John. If it's the same Uncle Donald I know about and the stories, like, yeah, Uncle Donald had to leave Tatola, if that's the same, you know, as a child, so they're going to just give it to you in bits and pieces. But yes, he does fit that description as far as a freedom fighter, yes, the Uncle Darrell Smith. But the point I was making is when Darrell and these heroes fought for the country, and it was able to be established when you had Honorable Levity Stout, when he was given the chief minister position, elected as chief minister in 67, follow me now, 67 to 87, that's 20 years. The governor at the time, I don't remember his name, I think it was Herdman or something like that. He then enacted the commissioner inquiry into the Anegada lands under Brother Levity Stout's watch. That's when it happened, just like the commissioner inquiry under Honorable Fye. The commissioner inquiry for Anegada was under Honorable Lavity Stout. From there, they looked into the situation from 87 to 88. At that point in time, Brother Ralph came and assisted in the commission of inquiry into Anegada Lands. He was instrumental in it happening. From 88 to 94, Honorable Ralph O'Neill sat in the Ministry of Natural Resources. From there, he went into the chief ministry, the chief minister position.
Because Lavity died.
So who it is keep us from our land, Cindy? One of them, they ain't touch the land. Don't let me see, this is a touchy subject. Because
So,
see, wait, let me say this point. Let me say this point, because see a lot of people gonna be, that's Uncle Ralph. No, say one, say two.
Say five.
Uncle Ralph do major good things for Anegadians. But there are many families that would tell you Uncle Ralph ain't do nothing for me. Say one, say two. Yes, he has done good, but other families have different to say. I could sit here
Can I ask
say
you,
that
because
we
this,
did
it
not
is
get
a
what we were
very
supposed
touchy subject.
Yes, it is.
What are the contributions you would say Ralph made in Anegada?
Man, if it wasn't for Uncle Ralph right now, the businesses that we see and the deeds that were issued right now would not be.
Okay.
I could say that unequivocally with the cleanest heart. It would not be. In his older days, he did help and assist for the younger generation living on Anegada to get through with what they needed to do. In fact,
Does he have land in Anegada?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not aware if, okay, yeah, that's Uncle Ralph owned. No, I'm not aware of that, but I'm pretty sure he probably does, yes. Because I know he has family there, so it wouldn't be beyond that. It's beyond me to find out if he did, yes. But for me to say, I know, no, I don't.
So who kept you from your lands?
Boy, that's a long story. It started from Lavity Stout, and we when I say we, I mean my family. We
So Lavity
campaigned for
Stout
the-
kept you from your lands?
No, we started the application process with
Under
Lavity Stout,
Lavity.
and it never got through. But when I say we, a lot of people didn't get through with Honorable Lavity Stout.
So Ralph started issuing lands?
Yes, he started issuing land because right after that, that was the Renwick report. That was the commissioner inquiry, and then he was the over the Ministry of Natural Resources from 88 to 94. So a lot of people were able to get a piece here, a piece there, whatever the case may be. But as far as you have to understand, when you say give land, for Anegada, we don't want to hear one person get a little piece here. We don't want to hear another person get a little piece there. Everybody was supposed to get their land. Unless you could say unequivocally across the board that everybody received their land or a portion of their family's allotment and not the crown land that was supposed to be gifted. We are also talking about estate land that the government does not want to acknowledge because what? You have interest that's being accrued with this land. They feel like that's the big elephant
Interest
in the room.
as in what? Government money interest?
How you
What
mean?
interest?
If I own something that was proven from 1885 and you ain't give it to me yet, this ain't something that I asking you for, you know. My family own it and it was
But the
handed
government
down.
is giving away land for $1, so
That's crown land because it was crown land as a gift. So the reason why we spend $1 is because you have to put a monetary value to it.
so
That's why it's $1.
so what happens with the estate lands?
Nothing. Thank you for asking that. Nothing.
Meaning
Oh,
to
you would still, I think,
distribute like what like
absolutely nothing as far
what
as
does
it's-
government gain from it sitting there? That's what I want to know.
Well, if they issue it to us, they might have to get sued for it because you kept me from it for 160 something years. In other words, if you have your house and your land, you don't pay
No,
for.
you said the government makes interest on the land.
No. Would have to pay interest. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, would have to pay the families.
That's what
I
I'm
see what you're
getting at.
saying.
Yes.
Okay,
So
well-
therefore, don't issue that. Because if you issue that,
It's
that
gonna
means
be
that you're...
costly for the
there
government?
you go.
Okay, I get it, I
Yes,
get it.
yes. It's going to be extremely costly. And they can't run from it now because the people are aware of it. So lawsuit coming. That's that. You could smell that a mile away. The lawsuits are coming. So thank you from your last last episode. When I say, let me look in the camera, thank you. I am extremely humbled by the attention and the help that was handed out to Anegada through our website, anegadalands.com. Thank you, Cindy. The wall is awakening to what's really happening over here in Anegada, and they are reaching out to help us.
Okay. We're going to take a really short break and we're going to come right back.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of it then. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Over there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay. I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Welcome back. It's a brand new season of Cut Deep. Thank you for joining us. It's season 5, episode 3. I am your host, Cindy Roseanne. We are happy to be back for a new exciting season. I want to welcome back Blossoms Florist as our support sponsor for Cut Deep. I want to thank Varieties Apparel, The Dressing Room, the Honorable Marlon Penn, as well as those of you who continue to support this platform from behind the scenes. Thank you. Cut Deep is a multi-platform show covering social and political issues in the BVI. Its viewership continues to grow with up to 6,000 viewers weekly. It cuts across demographics and captures an international audience. For advertising opportunities, email cutdeep@gmail.com or call WhatsApp or WhatsApp 284-440-3234. Tonight, the Anegada Land debacle is back on the table, plus BVI lands, period. We indeed heard a lot of shocking information in the Commission of Inquiry interviews this past week. We're going to talk about them tonight as well. Back in studio with me tonight is Chairman of the Anegada Advisory Lands Committee, Mr. Darrell Ruan. So we're going to get back to the conversation, and there's a question that I want to throw out there to you. It's a question that I got. It's a question that I got following the interview with you. And after that, I want to jump into some of what happened with the COI in terms of some of our crown land that was distributed shockingly.
Okay. I have no problem with that.
Shocking information that we heard in the COI last week.
Tenfold.
There seemed to be, I'm going to call it a thing, or there seemed to be a concern that Anegada land is very valuable, could be very profitable for Anegadians. And the fact that there isn't a plan of development for the island seems to be one of the reasons that government is trying to hold on to the land as long as possible. This is something that is coming back. So I want to get your full feedback on it, that there's no land, there's no plan, basically, to develop Anegada.
You ready for the bombshell?
Yes, you said with the Anegada Advisory Committee, I don't know if you guys have a plan, what that plan looks like, if it's been presented to government. Give me some feedback on that.
Okay, so here's the thing. There is no land distribution plan, but there has been for many years a land development plan. I could show you where they plan to put the land for hotels. I could show you where they plan to relocate the families for the ancestral and the estate lands that they want to occupy. We could show it to you all, the expanded airport, even where they proposed the Gulf Coast. So this has been going
Really?
I am so upset right now that we couldn't have it on the screen to show you. Yes, we've had it, and I think
So
it's
there's
been in
a plan.
existence. Yes, it's been in existence since I want to say 2005 or 2007. I think the one that we have has existed since 2007. But the distribution plan, that does not exist anywhere in the BVI. But the development plan for Anegada, it exists.
And you feel like families would come together to make that happen? Because if you own this plot and I own this plot and this one owns this plot and you want to put a hotel stretch on there, you think the families are ready to come together and make that happen?
I know
and
this
see the value
for a fact.
of that as opposed to one little guest house here and one over there.
I know this for a fact, but here's the thing. Man, Sydney, boy, you just hit a nail on the head. You see the same guest house here and guest house there? The reason why we do that is because, number one, every guest house you see there, that's coming out of an Anegadian pocket. We don't have the deed. So we talking about the same heroes we were just speaking of in the beginning of the show. We are talking about individuals who, when they're tired, they found a wife, you know, they want to build a family. These people go in the bush and they set tents. Cindy, see my goosebump them. They go live in a tent, Cindy. And then they go build their house brick by brick to then have to be fed if the government will come and do them something for what they're doing. But the resilience to survive and the resilience to have your own family is what caused them to do that. So
that's really sad when you put it like that.
Of course, Sydney, when you, let's look at it from a deed. If you don't have a deed, if one of those buildings now, suppose it was a business, I can't get no water.
Why have you guys stormed the Ministry of Natural Resources already?
The lullabies.
You know me, that's what I would do.
The lullabies. We have to understand that Anegadians or BVI landers in previous generations, we were a great, respectful people. We up to now, you can't speak to a certain person in a certain way.
But we are respectful, and being respectful doesn't mean being trampled on. And people like Darrell prove that to us. People like Noah Lloyd, sometimes you just have to stand up.
I guess at that point in time, I don't want to say it like that. I guess the people, my people, Anegadians felt that, hey, I'm just going to do what I have to do. But nobody really was like, hey, let's get together and let's, like you said, let's stand up for our rights.
Because this is a huge disadvantage and a huge injustice.
No water, you could not get any power, you cannot get any water, you can't, if you're running a business, you can't get any liquor license. How am I supposed to survive?
This is a huge injustice as I can see on the people of Anegada when you put it like that, like live in the bush or put up a tent or put something down brick by brick.
I know a
and
gentleman,
they live in
yes.
fear that. So you're also saying then that well, of course, a major reason why Anegada can't develop is even if there's an investor that comes in, that you guys would come together and probably lease a stretch of land
we have no problem with that.
Wait, what I'm saying is that even if that could be the case, you can't because you don't have deeds for the land to even look at that kind of investment happening.
And let me take it a step further, but the perception from all Anegadians, and I know we will stand united on this, is that the government would see that as an opportunity for them to make the money or them to do the negotiations with the investor and then tell the Anegadian, okay, no, you go and take this piece over here, and this is where the resounding hell no comes from. No, if the investor wants to come and he wants to sit on Vanterpool land, Faulkner land, Creaky land, whatever clan land he wants to sit on, you are going to do business with that clan. This is what we need to get across.
You know what you just did?
Why just do?
You talk about your goosebumps.
Oh yeah.
Look,
it's
contagious because
it's amazing what's taking place
when
on Anegada.
you talk about that just now, you say Anegada, but that takes us right to the situation with Bevy Sylvester.
From the
Delta Land.
Yeah, the Delta Petroleum
Let me tell you what happened to me the morning after that COI. I had a barrage of messages that were forwarded to my phone from Anegada people.
Yes.
And they were upset, but they only saw right in front of their face. They didn't understand what had happened to the owner of Nature's Way. And when you said that government would swoop in and try to take your land and say, oh, I'll give you this piece over here.
Instead. Yes.
And they are behind the scenes cutting deals with investors and screwing our people over.
Yes, yes.
What happened in the COI? Some information came out on the COI last week that everybody was stunned. And a lot of people looked at it in different ways. Some people were like, wait, Bevis got land for $800 a year. This person got land for $1 that was worth $600,000. Let me tell you how I saw that. You have two entities. Delta Petroleum, which was granted a 99-year lease on government property out there by where waterfront property. The owner of Nature's Way was also granted a 99-year lease. Delta apparently blocked the other entity from accessing their piece of land for 20 years, apparently.
They had to hear it.
For 20 years, blocked. They were advised, or I'm not using the strong enough words, they were told to remove themselves from the land. They didn't do that.
Intimidated.
Yes, they didn't do that. This person had no access to the land, okay, that they were rightfully.
For 20 years.
For 20
2
years.
decades. Yes, yes.
VIP in 2010 tried to give the land. They started the process of trying to give the land to Delta through Bevis. Okay, they left government, and the NDP came in, and it seems like it just stopped right there. It was a stay right there. The VIP is back in, and they have come in, I'm gonna say with a vengeance, to give this land to Delta through
Petroleum.
Bevis.
Through this
Now,
gentleman, yes.
let me tell you the disadvantage, because Honorable Whitley can say it how he wants. That's Vincent Whitley. He can try to say it how he wants and make it look all pretty and, oh, we had to give this lady something. You didn't give her anything.
No, you took that woman land from her.
You put
Yes.
one of our
Bring it up, man.
indigenous people.
Yes.
We don't like to use that word, but she's an indigenous person, right?
She is, yes.
You put her back up against the wall, and I'm gonna call it bully. You bully her out of that piece of land that she rightfully had access to and leased and owned for 99 years. You bullied her out of that to give it to an overseas multi-million-dollar company.
Yes.
And you're gonna tell me for that value, that land on that seafront, don't tell me about it worth no hundreds of $1,000s. It's up in the millions.
Yes.
Okay?
Even if it were water without nothing on it,
You
when the
took it.
development took place, it would have
Correct.
skyrocketed.
You gotta
Yes.
look at its potential.
Yes, yes.
You took it, and you're gonna tell me you gave this woman a kiosk on the park
Insulting.
at a reduced rate. Listen, you had to give me that for the rest of my life.
Thank you.
Free.
You took 20
And it
years
still
of this
wasn't
woman's
even
life
worth it.
away from her.
Okay?
Lord
Give
have
her a
mercy.
kiosk and a 0.3-acre land somewhere. Now, you see, my blood boils, and I'm going to tell you, she's my family.
Oh, wow.
And I know them very well. Their temperament is very calm and docile, and, you know, they say things like, you know, God will take care of it. Whatever happens to bad people. No, no, no. As far as I'm concerned, she needs to sue the government. She needs to sue Delta.
I think she
and
has a
her
case
land
too.
needs to be given back to her
Back to
ASAP.
her. Yes.
And Delta needs to, that arrangement that the government has with Delta needs to be quashed. A matter of fact, let me tell you how I look at that entire land debacle with
Bring it out. Bring it out.
with Delta. Bevis Sylvester, whoever owns Delta, Honorable Vincent Whitley, and the Premier, because this is gone on under his watch.
Yes.
If you ask me, they need to be in handcuffs. Because I've never, and even to put this land in that is for Delta, and the commissioner is saying Bevis and Delta are two different entities. The way they went about doing that is fraud in itself.
I agree.
How is it that you expect us to look at these leaders and have respect? Our younger generations looking on like, I am glad the COI is here. I don't care who is offended when I say that, because some of these things are things that we hear on the street as gossip.
Yeah, yeah.
To sit and listen to them inside the COI turns my stomach, it curdles my stomach.
Openly
The
admitting
depth.
it. Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, I would like to piggyback off of that. Now for the Anegadian now. The Anegadian had the privilege of hearing Honorable Vincent Wheatley. Oh, you took a livelihood for 20 years. We had to, I felt I had to act. I had to do something for this lady, but yet my grandmother, from the time she was a child, waiting on you to do what it is I supposed to do. And not just my
I
grandmother.
have so many of them who
There
lost
you
the land for
go.
30 years,
There
40
you
years. The
go.
stories were piling into my WhatsApp.
There you
It
go.
wasn't that they really cared about nature, the owner nature's way, or
No,
they
that
cared
was
about
for
getting that
the other
land
land,
to
yes.
give it
I
to
agree with that.
bevis them, to appease them.
I agree with
Whatever they have given the VIP. Oh my God. Breathe, Cindy.
So I'm
Breathe.
glad what I am, and I'm not going to say, because I got to watch my words. I don't want to say I'm glad because wrong was done. The owner for Nature's Way was wronged. But what I have to say that I am happy about, not enjoying in her situation, what I'm happy about is that we as a community gets to see it firsthand. Okay, Anegadians could be saying this, you as the host and as the host of Cut Deep, you received the messages directly to you.
Tons of messages.
To you.
Tons
And then
of
when you
messages.
listen to what we've been saying as the committee, hey, and the committee didn't have to come forward for you to know what was going on in Anegada. From a child, you know the situation been going on because every government campaigns on it. But the situation where we telling you, hey, there's a situation with our lands, that's number one. There is no land distribution plan, nor there has there ever been since the government was handed to them in '67. Now it is the COI is coming now. You're being awakened to all of these different, whether you want to call them crimes, whether you want to call them situations, unfortunate situations that Minister Whitley likes to call them. These are alarming truths. That's what I like to call them. And then there's this narrative scene there. I don't know if you've heard it, and a lot of the ministers like to use it, where the sheep spends his whole life fearing the wolf to be slaughtered by the shepherd. But see, the way I look at it, all of them on a sly fox. And let me show you what it is going on with them sly fox. You see them same sheep you want to talk about, them sheep protected by lions, such as myself. You see the man? You understand? So the set of sly fox want to come now and say, hey, I bet you if I walk down the street, man, I could be just rough and tough, just like you. So the sly fox say, you don't believe me? Come follow me. So now he walking down the street with a bunch of lions following he now. And then when the lions them see, what? My son, these man scared of this fox, man. No, it's because you wrong the fox. So now we just gonna sit down and have a little meeting with the sly fox them, and then everything gonna be everything, and it gonna be done. Cause you don't want these lions to roar. The last time Anegada roar, we shut down this country.
Yeah.
Don't play. And look, I would say first and foremost, it was never possible without the woman them. Because I could tell you, remember I told you I've screened how this happened. It was the women who rallied around Terrell. And the men now, the husbands of these women, say, well, Lord, let me go behind this woman because she going on down. They're going to start some trouble.
I love
That's
it.
what happened. So a lot of times we like to take credit away from the queens. No, exalt all these queens. You understand me what I'm saying? Exalt
Say
them
a
because
word.
these queens is who going to kick up. You see, when them queens start kicking up, that's what going to make the man them go. And it's not to say our warriors ain't ready to fight, you know. You got a lot of very docile warrior and just waiting for them to really be affected. But you see, my thing is, let's not wait till everybody children is being affected. And
Yeah.
sadly, in Anegada, everybody children, there is not a man that is not affected by this land situation in Anegada. There's nobody sitting down like, well, I good. No, there are people that have their deeds. But yes, their family and a whole, as far as your clan, no
They're
one
not.
clan could say that they have their land. No, not one. And so what's happening now is everybody's being educated and everybody's like, you know what? We are going to do what we need to do. Government, if you feel you could come over here and come stop me, come and stop me. But we don't want confrontation, we want conversation. Which, please let me segue into this here too. And the attitude, oh my goodness, the attitude of some of these ministers in these chats and, oh, we want to be transparent, accountable, and good governance. This is what we ran on. No, you don't want to be transparent. You want to hide in the dark. You understand? You don't
Facts.
want your attitudes and your realities to come to light. You understand? Because you want to come tell me, Master, coming back. Look, Cindy, I gonna point
Who
the
told
way
you that? What happened now?
I gonna point the way it need to be put. You have master, you have house, you have field, and you have free. The free is free regardless of whatever situation it is, because they're mind free. You understand what I'm saying? And they hearing no foolishness. You see the field is what to keep the country running. The field is going to go and do their work, they're going to take care of their families, and they're going to do what they need to do. You see the house is what is running the show. Because the free and the field run away the master. So now the master coming back and the house feel like, oh my goodness, master coming back. Are you? We can't let them come back. But you know what the feel and the free telling them? All you gotta go put in check now. So don't come and tell me about the COI coming and they going, Europe coming to take over. No. All of them gonna be, when we done put you in check, we put in them in check. And then everybody gonna understand themselves across the board. Because it's just a lullaby. It's fair after fair after fair after gimmick after gimmick after gimmick.
That's exactly what it is.
No,
that's exactly
it have to come to an end. At what point it gonna come to an end?
And it's going to come to an end right here.
Yes,
and
I agree with
that's
that.
the point.
I agree with
Our
that.
hope is the COI is going to bring it to an end, because we have sat back and we have taken so much. And to see the things that are coming out of the COI, like, I got a lot. There seems to be a stir up about more information that came out of the COI, and this one is in regards to Patsy Lake when she was, I think she was sitting on the BVI Ports Authority board, and part of the ports was going into her building there on
The one in Paseo.
yes, that drive right there, right after Treasure Isle, and apparently. The lawyer that was assigned to the board's lawyer, raised the red flag. Have you heard about this? Well, it was in the COI.
I read it in the paper. I didn't get to see the COI, but it's actually in the beacon on the front page.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I read it.
So it came in where the contract was going to be between a Vernon Lake, a VOP Investments Company, which seemed to be just a front. And it seemed that the real owner of the property wasn't VOP Investments, but Patsy Lake herself. And the lawyer had some concerns, and she wanted to go and do her due diligence. And she was relieved of her duties the next day.
That's how we're gonna behave. You know? But
This
my thing
is
is
the type of thing, and we worry
alarming.
about the COI,
That is alarming.
and they're here,
That's
and the
alarming.
white man going to take over. Like, this
That's
is
alarming.
this.
That's very alarming, and it's disheartening. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, here it is, as far as from the Anegada perspective. It's like, here it is, these are the kind of things that's going on. You're going hard for these kind of deals, but who's
Yeah.
going hard for us?
Yeah.
At what point, as far as if you're premier, this is what I would say to the premier if he was here. If you're premier and you are highly aware that this issue has been going on from, I like to say 1849, they like to say 1885. Whichever one you want to pick, that's fine. But from 1885, let's pick that, that's 136 years. You really think something going on your watch where you want to stand by accountability, transparency, and good governance? You really think what's going on in Anegada is what's going on?
Yeah.
Look, let me explain something to you. As hard as it may be, right now, Honorable Vincent Whitley have to walk on eggshells when it comes to Anegada. You know, you have never before seen Anegada as aware as they are right now, and they want answers. Anegadians do not want the lullaby anymore.
Yeah.
We want tangible answers to the questions we need to ask. We were not appointed by the minister. Anegadians stood up
Selected
and
their
voted us. So when he makes statements like, whoever wants to make noise, let him make noise, because that's what we like to do. And we never had a land distribution plan. And you see that whenever he move in his hand, it's pure fallacy coming out his mouth. You know?
Yeah.
I know I'm telling you, you know, whenever you see him start to move his hand, anything he's doing, it's pure, I monitor this man. This man, look, I would even go as far as to say why I go so hard on him. Honorable Vincent Willie was my hero, you know. You understand why I'm telling you? I left before I even came into this territory. See the goosebumps them there?
Yeah.
I had me and a delegation came and spoke to Honorable Wheatley, and I pledged this man. I said, look, whatever I could do to help you, I'm going to do. To the matter of fact, I'm going to move back. I'm going to move here. Man, you ain't going to do that when he see me lobster first. Man, he shake my hand like, man, yes, I like to see that. And to know that I was voted on the committee, I had to deal with this gentleman directly and how this gentleman treat me. I telling you, I know what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, God don't like ugly.
Correct.
You understand where I'm coming from? And he has dealt with my people verbally. The things he has said is appalling because the hair, Anegadians, the hair, how he spoke about the natures with individual. And I'm not saying that one situation, both of them are bad. But lad, one is 5 times more than the other.
Yeah, well,
you understand where I'm coming from?
The thing
And
is,
he spoke of this.
we
it
know
affected
that
us.
was only done
Because of,
they
yes,
had their
yes,
plan.
yes,
that
yes,
that was in their best interest. It had nothing to do with the territory or caring about the lady
I
at
agree.
Nature's Way.
I agree.
They needed to wrap that up finally, and they did. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it
Wow,
goes very
sweet.
quickly. We have another opportunity to bring this to the people via another platform, and we're gonna put that information out very soon. I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I want to thank you for coming back and giving even more light on the Anegada issue, because I think the territory is very tuned into this issue, and they really want to know everything that's going on and how it will be resolved. So our ears are on the ground, and we're with you. This season is going to be an exciting one. We have some great topics and discussions and guests for you this season. It appears the Commission of Inquiry is wrapping up interviews this week. It looks that way to me. We all sit with bated breath on former Governor Gus Jasper's interview tomorrow. Tune into the Commission of Inquiry's YouTube channel to hear the interview live. We will be coming to you live on ZBVI at 8 p.m. on Thursday to discuss his interview and more information on the Anegada Lands. The Cut Deep platform will continue to keep you up to date on what you must know and how it will affect you and the territory. We will prepare you for what is to come. We're on the road to elections. We want to take a look at what could emerge, set the tone for what should emerge, but overall keep you informed and a part of the conversation. And of course, you and I together form where this territory should be headed. Have a good night and rest of week, and I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.